All right. So can you guys see me?
Hold on. Do you want it to go up or down?
Down.
Down like that. Where?
So,
I moved it over this way some in case he hops up here. Is that okay? Okay. Your phone's not going to die, is it? All right, that's plugged in. There's that. Here's your reminder. And we'll put it right there. You need to sit up some too, because yesterday you looked like you were. You looked like you were slumping over or something.
yes.
Try my best.
Okay. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this YouTube Live, man. I tell you what, we're following Ed, Arn, and Alex out on the Cannonball in the Brock Yates Audi. I want to tell you something.
Hello.
Oh, we got boys down
We
there.
are back.
Like,
And not sure how
Ed,
the
what's
signal's
going
gonna be,
on?
'cause we are in North Texas at the moment. It is about 9 a.m. locally, and we are chugging right along. The Audi is generally behaving itself. The oil temperature keeps creeping up. The coolant temperature has crept up quite a bit.
The mirror keeps falling off.
Yeah,
I broke it
falling,
off.
being pulled off, whatever you want to say. The hood won't stay shut, but we've used a lot of tape to try to make it.
Oh no, it's not. It's opening.
Oh, it's opening again. The tape's not working very well. But we got our fuel pump a little bit angry, ran it down a little bit low, probably only 1 or 2 gallons left in the tank, and it didn't love that. But yeah, we're making good time. Average is ample. We're 1,767 miles into the trip, and we've been driving for 23 hours, 31 minutes. So by good math, we should be done in 5 hours, but that's not the case. And this is not the car for that type of trip. One thing we didn't exactly reveal yesterday is that we're not alone on this trip. And obviously we didn't want to out those taking it much more seriously than we are.
We're never alone
Aha!
on such drives.
Exactly. But we are doing this as a part of the 2018 C2C Express. So that is a cheap car, period correct Cannonball, organized by a great guy named Ben Wilson from New Zealand. And so he comes into town and invites a lot of us out to go have a crazy drive across the country, usually in old, miserably beat up cars. And so this year, we are one of 16 cars in the field, and we're having a lot of fun. So it's the car is behaving itself, running pretty well, and right now we're running through wind farms in Texas. So it's been a lot of fun. Arnie just finished up a Herculean driving leg where Alex and I got to get some good sleep finally. I was getting weak, and towards the end of it, just you start to lose depth perception and things like that. That's when it's time to let someone else take over. So normally we do kind of night, day, night if you're kind of pursuing a record for something like this. But today, where we did a day, night, day kind of setup, we left at about 10 a.m. yesterday morning, 10:15. So the drive is going well. The Audi is holding up, and I think we might actually make it.
I have a question for you, Edward.
Yes, Alex.
Is it illegal to drive if your rearview mirror is no longer affixed to its very correct location?
Well, we can blame it on the gigantic crack.
Where is the mirror now?
The mirror is where it tends to stay.
I think that you should just hold it
here for you.
I mean, just hold it in general.
So we have had one encounter with law enforcement already. Last night, Alex was driving in a place where we knew there was a cop on Waze, and we had a terrific scout named Blake who'd been featured in a VINwiki video or two. And he was out ahead of us and let us know there was a cop driving our way with some radar, but he ended up setting up a speed trap in the median. So we passed him probably 78 to 70. And he came up and had a nice look around the car, gave a little bit of a chuckle, made sure Alex wasn't too much of a villain, and went on back to his car with not even a written warning. So price is averted. Obviously, we let them know that
Words of encouragement.
we let them know that we're trying to raise money here for the Brock Yates Tribute Fund, Memorial Fund that's organized by Doug Beecham, raises money for the Alzheimer's Association, and also the Cannonball Memorial Run, which is the annual drive that we do with some police officers to raise money for the families of fallen officers. So the entry fees for the C2C Express, that gets really divided amongst those two excellent charities, and so we're glad to be a part of supporting them. But we are, we will definitely not be the fastest here, but among the teams, there's a Galaxy with over 180 gallons of fuel on board that believes it can do it in a single without stopping at all, which is an unbelievable feat that's actually never been done. Plenty of people have tried with gigantic tanks and transfer pumps and things like that, but no one's ever been able to carry that amount of fuel. So he removed all the weight from the car, full fiberglass front end, ground running here.
Garrett, George Anna, Devoir, Robert, Edward, W. Tom, Biddle, Howard.
Oh my goodness.
How's it going?
5, 11, 5, 11.
Got our radios going. We are currently somewhere in Mexico. Making extremely good time. I'm not going to say how good, but if our ultra beige beast holds up here, we'll be faster than BM and Turner. That's where I'll leave it. But we're having fun. It's a little tough running without air conditioning, and it was a drama-filled evening trying to get off the starting line. We originally left the gate and immediately had a mechanical issue, and it took about 2 hours to get it sorted, and we actually went back to the Red Bull and restarted. So that was a long night, but we are pushing through. So far, so good. We've had a couple close encounters of the blue kind. It's so far. So, knock on wood. Yeah, knock on wood. Got Donadell here and Matt helping co-drive and spot and navigate. And, should probably watch the road.
might just ruin my life. Doug. Yeah.
Can you hear anything?
Doug, what's going on, buddy? Can you hear me?
Very faint.
I can't hear anything, so if you're trying to ask me a question, I don't know what you're saying. But it's a badass 77 Monte Carlo with an LS1 swap, bunch of Marty style countermeasures.
Should we give them a walkthrough?
What's that?
Give them a tour?
Yeah, sure.
Got Garmin over here running an iPad with Waze, home control, the GPS antenna. We got auxiliary fuse switches over here, 12-volt adapters, USB, all that good stuff. iPhone, Google Maps. We have Uniden BCD 996 Phase 2 digital trunk scanner, external speaker for that, a Cobra CB. We've got our switches.
Courtesy of VINwiki.
Correct. We've got our switches for our various commands. No need to explain it there. Sport Max 3C. And then we've got gyro stabilized binoculars, quite fantastic. And
This is Alex's third driving stint. He left it. He's had a bad night. We're going to take that.
All right, guys.
This.
What's going on? Can you hear me? Let's go so we can hear what you can see.
But we appreciate everybody who's following along. Again, apologies because of the way we're doing this live, we can't see the comments, so we took the later. We appreciate all the support. And Rob sees it because Rob gets it also. And I agree with this, so we've all had spins. We don't drop out the live stream, so we definitely appreciate that. We have a signal from that.
What'd you say? All right, the other streams are done. So now we've got the Mexican Stick and an LS1 powered Monte Carlo with enough electronics to start a store. That's awesome.
that's so funny. It's like
We're not going to say how fast they're running. That's a little incriminating. What's going on, A-Ball? All right. All right, I'm back with Doug. So, Doug, can you hear me in the car, in the Monte Carlo?
big left lane hogging culture in Mexico down here. They love to just park and sit, and they don't respond well to the flashing of 6,000 Kelvin HID rally lights behind them. I don't know what it is about that. They don't take kindly to it.
That pisses them off every time.
There's 55 miles an hour. 56. Oh, 50. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, slow down. You can't do that. Can't do that.
Currently going 108 kilometers an hour. I don't know.
Officer, I don't know. It's an RPM. I don't know what that means. In all seriousness, no, we do not have a speedometer that is built into the car, or an odometer for that matter. We sort of just don't really know how many miles are on this thing, or how fast we're going, unless one were to take their eyes off the road and look at the Garmin GPS, which we have not been doing because that is a blatant, unsafe road violation. We sort of just go by the noise of the engine. And if it comes down to it, you know, if
It will let you know if something's wrong.
if we ever are pulled over, our defense officer, we weren't looking at the speedometer because the speedometer is not in our line of sight. It's actually unsafe. I think that'll work well. We'll let you know.
Does that mean you can speed the mini all the time?
Honestly, I think if I were to take my own car back home and put a big piece of duct tape over the speedometer, I might have a case there. Woo! We'll have to see what Off the Record says about that, though.
For all of you who think this is glamorous and exciting, you're right for like maybe the first hour and the last hour, but the forever hours in between, where you're hot and sweaty and tired and hungry and constipated and sweaty, it's
I can't
yeah, we feel like
barely
we've
hear
done
you.
something incredibly special here when we got to the Mississippi River,
Yeah.
the Mexico River.
Everybody,
Mexico.
And we're like, oh, we still have like multiple thousands of miles to go.
Right.
So it's a long journey.
I just took a quick nap and I woke up and I was,
Yes.
are we there yet? And I looked at the trip computer and we're about 2,000 miles away. So we're not 2,000, see. 1,726.
We're in southern Mexico.
okay, so they can hear me now.
Long time to get to LA. Took the long route.
Right. Scenic route.
In the car. So am I talking to Doug or am I talking to you two? I'm talking to the YouTube guys. Because it's
Rob,
what's
you
going
wanna
on,
look at
Doug?
some of your beauty products. I need some hair gel.
I tell you what, I love the Freddie Mercury look,
The
Doug.
JC Penney gals. Oh,
Oh, guys, so how is it, man? Riding around in a Monte Carlo? I thought you was a Porsche guy.
Can't hear what you're saying. But I'm sure it's something.
you making this day?
Bit of backstory. This same team did this same cross Mexican country drive last year in the C2C /2904, and we, long story short, had a transmission malfunction just outside of South Bend, Indiana, and there was a moment where we were looking at each other and we decided to rent a car, Uber to the airport, the South Bend International Airport, rent a car and drive in a Hyundai Accent across country from where we were. And this is really the first running of the Monte Carlo with all of its glory. You know, knock on wood, of course. It's nice to have all the technology and whatnot. Last year, we were literally dealing with one 12-volt cigarette lighter in the rental car.
With an 11-gallon fuel tank.
11.4. Give it some credit. 11.4.
Right.
And I think it was governed at 125 miles an hour. Not that we ever found that out.
119.
Or 119,
You got
right?
it to go 120.
120 exact downhill.
It was governed at 119.
Right. I think we found that out by Google, never by trying it ourselves, actually. But
Right. You watched the video with
Right.
Chris Harris.
correct. But yeah, you know, it's kind of supernatural being here right now, and having made it as far as we have. So, you know, knock on wood, we keep going.
People in the left lane are going to meet the supernatural.
I mean, let me just paint the picture for you. We've got 5 or 10 motorcycles in the right lane. You've got a tractor trailer carrying what I believe to be stallions, horses, in the left lane, and is that a volunteer cop? He's got strobes on his license plate. See those little black things? And something or another of a potential, you know, American-made law enforcement vehicle in the left lane. So we're just sort of riding in our slipstream here.
Losing time every minute. This car develops new rattles about every 3 minutes. And a whole bunch of them to begin with. This car has a cool story. I bought it from the original owner's estate. Got pictures of them with it taking delivery. It's skin tone brown over skid mark brown. Superb 70s. That's why it's also the names of other things, which I won't repeat because they're not really appropriate, but have to do with the color and shape of the car. And I thought about racing it in Lemons, but it was too nice. So I decided to put an LS1 in it because why not? Hashtag LS swap.
Let's swap all the things.
And that started a bad trail of, well, now that we have more power, we need better brakes and better suspension and a 60-gallon fuel cell and all that. So here we are. Gets a lot of attention. And the funny thing is, the question I get asked the most about this car is, does it have swivel seats? Which, with all the antennas and all the other crap going on, the gold first wheels, I think that would be the last thing people would care about. But I guess that was
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. We'll back up the live stream. So, guys, you got any questions for the guys? You got any questions for Ed, Arn, or Alex, or even Doug in the Monte Carlo? Like I said, let's post these questions up. We'll try our best to get them answered for everybody. What did you just say? I can barely hear you, baby. Are we live now on me? It's only on me. All right. So I'm talking. I'm hot now. My mic's hot. Everything's hot. Like I said, guys, got any good questions? This is exactly a C2C race, guys. This right here is actually, I'll be honest with you, it's a challenge like no other to see if that Audi will actually make it to California. I seen somebody posting what was the odds on it actually making it. I don't know. I would say slim to none, given some of the issues they're having already. And they still have quite a ways to go just being in Texas. T-shirts available online, guys. Be sure to check those out at VINwiki.com. Oh, we got a little bit of wind up here, man. Nothing too bad from this flow rinse. I can't link the shirts in the chat, but I'm sure you can get one of the VINwiki videos. Is our guys coming back? I said, look how much fun they're having. I am so envious right now. Even riding in the Audi, I'm envious. What's going on, man? Tell Chris I said, hey, bud. See, bud. I'm awake, man. I got my coffee. Trying my best. All right, guys, ask me some questions. Like I said, anything you want to know about the C2C race or the 2904 stuff or anything like that, or about the Audi. Like I said, I got all kinds of information on this thing. We can actually pop back in and ask the guys. Love you too, Hyper House. Thank you, Miles, for extraordinary. Man, I'm stoked about seeing it this year. It's going to be phenomenal. We actually booked our tickets a few weeks back. Hotel rooms, got the limo. It's going to be a great time. The Audi is mainly stock. It's an 85 Audi Quattro, but it's a broadcast edition. The dealer in Jacksonville actually made 12 of these cars. The thing that was really cool about them was it was a very limited edition, and most of them sold right in Jacksonville and Atlanta. So, and Ed's car is number one of the 12. It's a stock car, 20-gallon fuel tank. I mean, it's really just like it left in 85. It's staying a lot for a 33-year-old car. Given he's had a lot of trouble with it, I'm shocked that it's doing as good as it's doing now. And hopefully, fingers crossed that that finishes the race. They didn't have 180 gallons of fuel in Quattro. The Quattro weighs less than 180 gallons of fuel. What's going on, Dave? Welcome to the conversation. Corky Coker is a great guy. We're talking about Corky in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Coker time. Thanks, Logan. What's going on, Dave? All the way in Fort Worth, Texas.
It's a mandatory 6-month license suspension.
In the C2C Express, the rules are pretty vague, but they want you to have a car that's worth about $3,000.
Organized from some crazy Kiwis that came into the U.S. once a year and bought cars before 1980 so they'd be period correct and have them break down across the country. So it sounded like a load of fun.
I decided I'm going to get a junkyard LS engine. I generally
It's a mandatory 6-month license suspension.
In the C2C Express, the rules are pretty vague, but they want you to have a car that's worth about $3,000.
Organized from some crazy Kiwis that came into the U.S. once a year and bought cars before 1980 so they'd be period correct and have them break down across the country. So it sounded like a load of fun.
I decided I'm going to get a junkyard LS engine. I generally keep the hood closed, so hopefully no Mopar guys will lynch me. So the first person I called was Ed Bullion.
After a couple of these things being fully in the driver's seat, I'm really looking forward to something that's more of an arrive and drive program.
I happen to have that situation that I want to offer you.
And Forrest was going to come along with us, who had been kind of my countermeasures expert for the record run.
I was going to take my favorite car in my favorite theme and do my favorite thing with the record holder of the Cannonball run. I had to go to the O'Hare Airport in Chicago. Ed Bullion and Forrest were flying up, and we were going to head to Manhattan to the start.
And then there were going to be about 11 or 12 teams setting off on a Saturday. Unfortunately, there were some pretty serious accidents that befell some of the teams, some breakdowns, and some unfortunate calamity that kept several of the teams from starting, but it ended up we were in New York with 6 different teams to run the C2C Express in 2016.
We had a little bit of trouble on the way out. Ed was testing the top speed abilities of the Bluesmobile, and we made a pretty spirited run in Pennsylvania. Got up to about 120, 125, and the car just kept getting louder and louder. Well, it turns out Ed had blown a hole in my muffler from the sustained acceleration. So that was one thing that we're going to have to fix when we got into New York. Forrest and I headed over to Ivy Tuned. They got the splitter all sorted out, sort of bent back into place. He found me a muffler shop. We got the car over there. They replaced the mufflers. So we headed into Manhattan to go meet up with Ed, who is now with Alex Roy having coffee. For a Cannonball fan, it was just like a dream come true. I couldn't even believe it was happening. We met at the Gallagher's restaurant in Manhattan, which is a pretty famous place because it's the start point of famous races like the Gumball Rally. It's a real fancy steakhouse, but we enjoyed a nice dinner at Gallagher's and head out to the start.
Some of the guys wanted to drive kind of day, night, day, rather than just drive night, day, night, which maximizes the time in which you have fewer other cars on the road.
Most teams decided to leave either in the morning or around noon, 1 o'clock, where Ed and I decided we were going to wait until 8 p.m., kind of when traffic died down, because one of the challenges of Cannonball is getting out of Manhattan. Ed punched the clock at the Red Ball garage and ran down the ramp. I made it about 100 feet before we hit our first stoplight.
Make decent time out of the Lincoln Tunnel. We're out in 11 or 12 minutes, which is about the industry standard for such things.
Traffic was a little thick in New Jersey, being 8, 9 p.m., but we made our best way we could through it and got into Pennsylvania about 10 p.m. and I was able to really open it up. We got up to about 132 miles an hour on one stretch, which was our top speed of the run, but we did run into another problem.
There was probably something wrong with the drive shaft or something to that effect, so it really didn't like going much more than about 102 miles an hour.
Well, it felt like the car was going to rattle to pieces, and we still had another 2,500 miles to go. We pulled off on the side of the road. Ed hopped in behind the wheel. I hopped in the back seat to kind of take a break.
And I've made it all 2,800 miles of the 2850 run, of the 3205, 2904 winning run, with no tickets and really no comp issues. This drive was not that. I took over on my first driving leg, the second leg of the trip, and we're kind of weaving through Pennsylvania, which was under some heavier construction than normal. I asked Forrest, who was spotting at that time, I said, is there a cop up there? He looks through the binoculars, looking around, looking at the radar detectors, and says, no, it's not. So I roll back into the throttle to immediately.
So my life. What's going on, guys? Back again. What's going on, Ben? Oh, I tell you what. What's going on, Miles? Steiny. Guys, I tell you what, be sure to ask us some questions. We got all kinds of stuff. I'm in tune with Ed, Alex, and the boys in the Audi. That's right, guys. That's right. Tell me about it, Dylan. Technology. It's one of those things. What's going on, Damon? Just this up just a little bit. But anyway, guys, like I said, actually, I did film a little stand-up for some more YouTube content that I'm doing, and keep your eyes peeled for that. Oh, 8-Ball, we missed you too, bud. Man, I've had so many cars, dude. It's so hard to call a favorite. It's kind of like somebody picking their favorite child. Sombrero Cat, thanks for watching, bud. What's going on, Jack? Thanks, Ben. Thanks for watching, bud. Thanks, Huck. It does take a ton of trust. You got to think about it, Stommy. I mean, you got three guys in this little Audi. This is not a big, comfortable car. I mean, they may catch a little cat nap here and there, but that's about it. What am I drinking? Some of the best coffee you ever put in your mouth. I'm telling you. I'm a coffee drinker from way back. It's unleaded. It's unleaded, but it ain't there's no alcohol in my coffees this morning. Mitchell, that's a hard one. Cats and dogs. I used to be a diehard dog guy, you know, remember my little chihuahua, but I don't know. Kind of got what I like the little cats too, so I like them all. Thanks, Beef Stew. Thanks for watching. Have you dated Halle Berry? No. Thanks, Smoking Tires. Thank you. I tell you, man, like I said, we've got a lot of cool stuff going on. This is really neat. We're working all the kinks out with the good guys over here at TubeIn, trying to make this stream. Good morning from Columbia, South Carolina. You just ride down the street from it. But anyway, like I said, working with the guys from TubeIn to actually develop this and get this better and better. Each stream is getting better and better. Keep in mind, I mean, this plays on a lot of things, internet connection. My power was just going out a few minutes ago because of Hurricane Florence. And also, you got to think about it, these guys are relying on cell towers. So, there's a lot of variables going on. So give these guys a little bit of a break. They've actually done a wonderful job with this. And I love this app. And this is something that's really, really cool right here because this has never been considered before like this. So definitely a cool thing. Tell you what, we need to get the old man down in Atlanta. He would actually be a lot of fun to have just some VINwiki stories. I'm about 4 hours from the coast. We're getting a little bit of rain and wind right now, just some of the remnants of Florence. So hopefully it'll blow over. With enough money, you can make a Mustang do anything an M3 does. What's going on, Wesley? Ed, thanks for joining in. I believe, honestly, they switch, Steve, when they switch drivers. They're kind of ready. They kind of have it planned out. Keep in mind that all three of these guys have drove this route numerous times. So they kind of know which leg they all like to drive. So they kind of pick their favorites. I know that Ed was taking a nap earlier, so I would say he didn't take the night shift, and Alex took the night shift. But or Arnie, one of the two. But anyway, like I said, yeah, they kind of know their things. You know, they probably drive 8-10 hours. You know, nothing big. Steinman will tell you something about flooded cars. Flooded cars get shipped all over the country. When the market's flooded with them down in a certain area, they know people aren't going to pay anything for them. So insurance companies and things will actually ship those cars way out. They're going to have people in California looking at flood cars. But that's right. That's right, Mitchell. We're just Floridians. Cannonball Audi is hanging in tight, Ian. Thing you got to think about this car. It's a 33-year-old Audi. I would be uncomfortable doing this run in a 3-year-old Audi. So it's saying a lot for its mechanical abilities, what it's done already. They're having some problems with the oil temperature. It's getting a little high on it. The hood won't stay latched. They have the hood taped shut. But all in all, the car's doing well. You know, knock on wood, it seems to be holding together well. When we first started this race, I gave it about a 20% chance of finishing. Now into it, I'm about 60-70%. I think it'll finish. So, but keep in mind, I still got a long ways to go. So you never know. That's right. That's NASCAR style right there. Yes, sir, Kevin. I'll be at SEMA this year. Matter of fact, I have my SEMA coffee cup. I'll be at SEMA this year. I'm flying out the Sunday before and leaving out the Saturday after. Love the 80s Dodge Daytona. And if you listen to the radio show, the professor, the guy on the radio show with, he actually has a gorgeous 86 Daytona Z that is pristine. Turbo Z. Harry, the mini truck is actually making a lot of progress. It's actually, I got a call the other day from the body shop. So it's about ready to pick up from the body shop and be reassembled and have the interior done in it, and she'll be all done. Be looking for a debut video of that one soon. I mean, I actually did talk about going to SEMA. We're going to try our best to get him out there, at least for a few days anyway. We're still live, right? All right, I tell you what, we're gonna wrap this up now. All right, guys, I tell you what, we're gonna wrap this live stream up. It's been a lot of fun answering your questions. I want to call into the boys, make sure they're doing all right. Everything's going good with them. Stay tuned for another live one. Maybe that one will go even smoother, guys. Thank you for watching VINwiki Live. All right, hang on, guys. We're gonna send you back to the boys, Ed, Arnie, and Alex.
We got Doug in the house. All right. I don't know if I'm trying to use YouTube on Arnie's iPad up here. Doug, it looks like they're cruising along. We've been staying in touch with the group chat, but I hope they're doing brilliantly well. I can see we got 210 people watching, and we're having a good old time. Thank you for your help, Rob. Thanks for keeping us live and keeping us going. Thank you to the guys. Also, how about that? Another Ferrari FF. We passed one yesterday. Review this. All right. Again, we want to thank Off the Record app, who has helped us to or have some.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. All right, so we're having a few technical difficulties. Surprise, surprise. It happens from time to time, guys. We got technology and Mother Nature and everything all working together. But I tell you what, guys, stay tuned for another live stream right here on VINwiki Live. Thanks for all your questions, all your responses, guys. Be sure to take care and be safe out there. And like I said, stay tuned because you'll be getting notifications soon when our boys are winding up in LA, hopefully not on a tow truck. All right, we're done. So just hit the X button.